Something like a year ago, I said that I would start making videos about D&D. So here we are. We're gonna start where anybody would. With Ranger, because it's my video and I'm in charge. Ranger is arguably the best class in this book. I say arguably because obviously the best class is up to, each personal player's preference, and out of this book, Ranger is hot garbage. I'm not going to get into it right now, but Animal Companion Ranger is... just read it. Dedicating half of your existence to a challenge-rating 1/2 beast is astoundingly bad. But people want to roleplay having a dog. I get it, so do I. But that kind of leaves Ranger as being a fighter, but worse. Not entirely. Rangers come with a lot of abilities that kind of trivialize a lot of noodly bits that a lot of DMs don't even bother with. Like, hey, how many rations does everybody have? I go foraging for food, I get everybody food, and I come back with twice as many rations as I would normally. Yeah. Well, make a survival check to make sure that you don't get lost. Actually, we don't get lost except by magical means. Okay. Does anyone want to make a nature check to see what kind of beast this is? Huh? No? They're not my favorite enemy. Oh, is it an ooze? Can I check to see if it's an ooze? I have advantage on that. Natural 20, is it an ooze? It's not an ooze, you're certain of that. It's a bear, and it's going to attack you. Roll initiative. Ooh, that sweet, sweet magic word was said, so let's talk about Revised Ranger. Advantage on initiative? Wow! Ignore difficult terrain? Wow! Favorite enemies that weren't horrifically specific and actually do you some good? Because originally out of the book, you can just be really good at tracking plants. Yeah. Still there. And now you can do some serious damage to a Bahir, amongst other things. Some things in Revised Ranger are kind of ridiculous, because if your favorite enemy is Humanoid, then you can spend a minute thinking and go, I know the exact population density of the city. Nearly every other character I've ever made has been a ranger. There was Liwa Miru, yes, the Bionicle, but actually was Indiana Jones. He was a spellless ranger who should have been an Eldritch Knight. Then I've got Samson Lance, who is a cursed human to be a dragonborn. Well, he's an Eldritch Knight, but he should definitely be a ranger. There's Oki of Ursa, who's an Animal Companion Ranger, and he just wants to go home. And then there's Kazoo. Kazoo. He started out going to be a UA Tree Ranger, but then I started to play him. He was dropped from the nest as a young little chick. He's a Kenku, and adopted by these two real estate agents who brought him up thinking that they were raising an adorable little bird, and then eventually discovered, no, this is just a disgusting bird monster, and kicked him out. Kazoo unfortunately didn't know how to do anything except for sell houses, so he learned to steal them and then sell them to people. As I played him, he went from a lighthearted little meme to being a ruthless killing machine who would stop at nothing to eventually get revenge on his adoptive parents. And then there are two other characters that I play kind of consistently who aren't rangers, so I like rangers a lot. Here are some tips if you might want to play rangers too. You really don't need that much wisdom to be a functional ranger, so put that number 2 stat in Constitution or your favorite role-playing stat. Hunter's Mark! Dueling might not seem like it, but it's actually a really good fighting style. Liwa had it with a whip, and it was so good defeating my favorite enemy in single hits. That's sweet, sweet flat damage. Hunter's Mark is a bonus action! Hunter Conclave is really good, but so is Dipping Rogue. Hunter's Mark is concentration! And so are most of your other spells, so make sure that you're making those concentration checks when you get hit. Hunter's Mark applies to every single hit you deal. And make sure you're using Hunter's Mark. And here's some tips for DMs running for Rangers. As a DM, you're going to have a player who wants an animal companion, and they might go Animal Companion Ranger just to have this. Here's how you can help. 1. Make animal companions accessible to everybody, like PHB Ranger animal companions, where they're just challenge rating 1/4 animals who just kind of follow you around, and when they die, they die. 2. Please use Revised Ranger. 3. Even in Revised Ranger, the animal is so entirely separate from what the rest of the class actually does that you can throw them a couple of bones here and there. The biggest one that I can think of is let Hunter's Mark apply for the animal as well as the player, because that'll make them feel really cool and effective for using the animal. If your ranger's ruining all your cool exploration by going, oh, let me just quickly roll for this because I'm good at this because I'm a ranger and the book says so, make them explain what they're doing. Make them do some research into how it actually works. They can still succeed and do cool things. As a matter of fact, you should definitely include those things so that the rangers can go, oh, wow, those abilities that never come up, they came up. I can't believe it. And here's a few magic item ideas. Here's one that I keep on trying to get Matt to give to Salem. It's a great sword that you can do attack, extra attack, but as the bonus action, you can slide out a short sword from it and do the third attack as well. And if that doesn't float your boat, here's just a cool idea that I haven't actually implemented, but I keep on meaning to. Paired weapons. They're like +1 on their own, and they do their own cool thing, but when wielded together and both hit, they do something extra special. I read about that on the internet one time. Maybe I can find a link and put some ideas in the doobly-doo, but I think that's neat, so maybe you will too. So give Ranger a go. It's one of my favorites. Just don't use this piece of garbage. Brian, what should I talk about next time?
Monk.
Monk. Good choice. Next time we'll talk about Monk, which is another one of my favorite classes, and it's very, very dumb. You really don't need that much ranger to... And here's for tips...